Okay, today I want to talk to you about intervening variables, also known as mediation. So let's first think about it conceptually. So let's suppose that we are looking at father's education and how that influences the individual's income. Okay. So let's look at that data in SPSS. Okay, so let's just look at the descriptive statistics for these variables. So we're going to look at income, and we're going to look at father's education, father's highest degree. Okay. So let's just look at okay, so this is for total family income, father's highest degree. So for total family income, here's the frequency table, and here's the information about father's highest degree. So now let's look at a mean comparison. Let's do a one-way ANOVA with income as the dependent variable and father's highest degree as the factor. And we're going to look at the descriptives. Okay, so first of all, there is a significant relationship between at least two of the groups. So let's look at these. So for less than high school, the mean is 16.68. So we could look at the frequency table and figure out, okay, what category, what level of income that is, right? So we see that less than high school is this, high school is this, and then bachelor's is the highest, and interestingly, graduate's a little bit lower, but the confidence intervals overlap, so it's not really a concern, right? But it looks like there is a difference between several of these groups, right? So if your father had more education, then the respondent's own income seems to be higher. So let's think back to our conceptual map. So if we add in a control variable, let's control for respondent's education, highest degree, and let's put that in the middle, right? So it's going to be father's education acts through your own education to influence your own income. All right, so how do we do that in SPSS? So we go back to SPSS and we ask SPSS to, the only way to do this with an ANOVA is to ask SPSS to split, we ask SPSS to split the data because we want to compare groups, right? So we want to run our ANOVA again, but this time we're going to add a control variable. I think it's organize output by groups. Let me just check this. Split file. Yeah. Organize output by groups, and let's organize it by own education. So that's, we're going to look at D3 degree. Okay. So now when we go back and we do an ANOVA, the same ones are going to be up there. And this is the GSS data that we've used all semester. So this is now saying, okay, when it's less than high school, the respondent's own education, right? So that middle variable, we're controlling for that. When it's less than high school, okay, maybe there's a difference between the means. I don't know. But then you look at the ANOVA and you see that the p-value is large. So actually, when you control for respondent's highest degree, there seems to be no variation by father's education and your own income. Similarly, if we look at people that have a high school degree, same, larger p-value, no difference among groups. For those that just have some junior college, it's close to significant, but not quite, right? So we can reject, we fail to reject the null hypothesis. All these means are the same. And the same is true for a bachelor's degree, and the same is true for a graduate degree. Right? So this is an example of originally we saw a significant relationship between the variables, but now when we control for education, that relationship disappears. There's no longer a significant relationship between father's education and individual's income. And based on the data, but also based on sort of the theoretical understanding, that makes sense, right? Because why do people with more educated fathers have higher income? It's because it acts through your own education. Your father was educated, that means you're more likely to be educated, and then your own education, that's the thing that really influences your income. So that's an example of an intervening variable.